Alright, Lancer, so today we got some pretty cool news because our next set of resurrectable characters is another Confia on World banner. For those that don't know, I'll mention every time, this does mean we are getting a second resurrection batch at the end of the month. But these characters will be getting the upgrades around the 13th, and in this case, it's featuring Bankai Shinji, Grimmjow, and also Loopy. Now, in a way, this is almost perfectly timed because on the 23rd, we should be getting the Hollow and Arranka Senkaemon quest. And the Hollow one in particular, there's not that many Hollow characters, so Shinji is getting his upgrade at the perfect time. So any damage increase, in all honesty, is going to be good to see here, but most importantly, especially good soul traits. With that said though, first up, let's have a look at Grimmjow. So the main thing I want to see from this character is honestly just more normal attack damage, but most importantly a secondary good soul trait, because what we are seeing here is 20% damage taken. It's an enhanced soul trait. Nowadays, to be fair, we are going up to 21% damage reduction, but nonetheless, getting that with the additional normal attack damage, for example, is actually going to be very good. So that's what I'm expecting here. Anything else isn't going to be good. I just want to see normal attack damage. And if he gets that, it's going to be a very good soul trait for Yhwach, also Manania currently in Brave Battles, but there isn't like a mainstay, super crazy hard character to make use of this just yet. So in the future, when we eventually get a new hard Brave Battle character, that's going to be a good link to have for them. Now, Grimmjow, keep in mind, is also one of those characters that he was a normal attack damage character designed for just PvE content. He wasn't designed for a game mode in mind. And that was honestly fine. He was actually a really good character on release. So we just want to see more damage. Like he has a 40% bruiser. If we can get that up to like 100%, that will honestly be great to see. He has guard break, hit an enemy. I'm really not sure what a character like this will actually pick up upon resurrecting. Does he have a innate skill? He doesn't. So we're looking at potentially 3 new skills here for a character like this. So any more damage would be great to see. He likely will be getting an immunity. I believe it's weaken immunity because he wants to, in a way, be used in the Melee Sworper Guild quest. So definitely expecting more normal attack damage and definitely expecting a weaken immunity. Anything else I think is just going to be seen as a bonus. So having a closer look at the upgrade, and shout out to Mollyprim and the Reddit staff for actually having this really cool layout here, making it easier for us to see what we are getting here. So first up, soul trait is damage taken minus 20% and also normal attack damage plus 16%. So we got exactly what we wanted here. It's the perfect soul trait for a character like this that does have an already enhanced soul trait at 20% damage reduction. For innate skills, this is something that I didn't consider. If we actually zoom, we can see a bit better. We have 20% long reach. That's actually pretty good for his range. He is a melee character, so any extra range does help out big time. At full stamina, might be a bit awkward because he is a melee character, but we are getting 30% more normal attack damage, and he also is decreasing the damage he does take from Sworpers by 20%. When it comes to the other skills that he does have, the character itself does have weaken duration minus 100%, so he is fully immune to weakening like we expected. His normal attack damage and strong attack damage is now at 50%, but alongside that, he also does have an additional 20% normal attack damage to any heart attribute character in your team. That goes for himself, so we in a way basically saw a 66% normal attack damage increase. Actually, it's 76% because his normal attack damage went up by 10% from this skill, so 76% more normal attack damage, and the immunity. He got more range from the long reach, and also he did get star barrier plus 5. Again, I wish it would be 10 for characters like this. But in a way, I kind of get the idea for it because this character wants to be at full stamina to get his max damage potential. So honestly, not really a bad resurrection by any means. We have a good soul trait. That's the most important part. You're getting 75 spirit orbs if you own the character. And then he's also, most importantly, doing more damage. And personally, with the most recent edition of the Senkaemon quest update, especially for affiliations that doesn't too often get new characters, I think more damage upgrades like this are exciting because you can take them into that quest and free up a slot for a better character. So in a way, at least to me, resurrections have become a bit more exciting just because of the Senkaemon update. Because honestly, now with this damage upgrade and the fact that you can take him into the special move trial quest and get 2 more duplicates of the character, you know, you can make his damage output pretty good. And that will help you clear the Arranka Senkaemon quest. And the same in a way can be said for Shinji because he is a Hollow affiliation character. One of the few characters too that actually can't be used in the Sworper Tower. It's just Captain and also Hollow, but most importantly the Hollow one. Because again, there aren't that many Hollow characters. I mean, there are if you have been playing the game for a while, but if you're a new account, holo characters are still rare to come by. So in this case, for this character, what I want to see here again is another good soul trait. If it does get another good soul trait, that'll be great to see. And I think the chance of him getting a good upgrade is relatively high, because his status damage, right? One thing that we do see for some resurrectable characters is that their soul trait would be damage to a certain status element. And in this case, they could go down the route and do damage to confused enemies, but like no one besides Shinji ever inflicts confusion. And even nowadays, confusion has been kind of phased out for domination, because it seems like any new Shinji we are going to get is going to have dominate. So I really don't see Caleb doing damage to confused enemies. That would just be literally useless. And instead, I'm expecting a good soul trait, maybe more strong attack damage at full stamina. If we get that, that's great. If not, I'm not that fussed about it because I already have my links personally, but more would be welcomed in all honesty. It's more damage output for the character too. Going to the character's kit, though, he does have a good damage output for his time at least. He has a 40% Berserker, more damage to confused enemies, has an overall good kit. What we're going to see here is definitely an immunity. Again, once more, I believe weaken immunity. Does he have any innate skills? He does not. So we're definitely going to see weaken immunity because he is a immediate sword per killer. We're definitely going to see guard break in some form. Likely just guard break because he does lack it. And that would be really good again for Senkomon content. And if we can get a spiritual pressure boost, that would be nice to see because we haven't seen that in quite some time at this point for a resurrectable character. But more strong attack damage is also going to be welcomed. What we're going to likely see though, very similar to Grimmjow, it's kind of become the norm, is that characters are just going to get more damage when at full stamina. Not that big of a deal, but that's likely what we are going to see here. Alright, so let's have a look. So in this case, wow! Okay, so that's something we need to talk about. So I just said that a character like this, I don't personally need because I already have access to the full stamina damage strong attack soul trait, right? Really good soul trait, by the way. But what you're going to notice in is that it is actually 2% higher at 22%. Now I know it's only 2%, not that big of a deal. But this is something that we started to see, I believe, last month with Halibo, where now resurrections are starting to get a bit of a power creep when it comes to the soul traits. And honestly, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think I kind of welcome it, and I can kind of see why Caleb might want to do something like this, because like I just said, right, I already have access to a good set of soul traits. In a way, when it comes to future resurrections, I don't need to care about them in terms of soul trait purposes, because I already have my good soul traits. But now it's like, you know, I'm kind of happy I do have Shinji. Now I'm kind of happy that I have him max transcended because this is a better soul trait and I can definitely see myself using this now. But again, this also just goes for himself. But this is not because of the attribute tree, by the way. This is quite literally 22% for this character. Someone like Halibo, recent character that just got resurrected, she had extra 2% strong attack damage. And with the attribute tree system, it went up to 20%. So Halibo is an example of actually a pretty good soul trait despite it being resurrectable. So we're starting to see some little power creep when it comes to soul traits for resurrectable characters, and now Shinji is the second character for that. When it comes to the innate skills, we have Sprinter +1, Guard Break, and also Weakened Duration, like we did expect. And then look at the character skills here. Shinji did get an increased status and chance to Technique Attribute Soripers. Would have loved if it was just the Technique characters at this point, but it is quite restricted, only Technique Soripers. His strong attack damage went up by 30%, and his damage to confused enemies also went up by 10%. It's an overall decent upgrade in all honesty. He got some good skills here. I would have liked to have seen more damage increases here though. I mean, similar to Grimmjow, Grimmjow got a bigger buff, albeit the standard for resurrection upgrade is like 50% more normal attack damage or 50% more strong attack damage. In a way, he got that, right? He got the 20% from the soul trait and then 30% from the skills. So he did get a 50% damage buff here. He has some nice utility with the guard break in a way that's extra damage. He got the increased statism and chance, and then he also did get more damage to confuse enemies, which works well with his now increased statism and chance, right? Personally though, I think at this point, characters should be getting Frenzy +2. I feel like having Frenzy 2 would have actually made him a pretty exciting character, more exciting than it is right now, or even a spiritual pressure boost. I guess we're not quite just there yet, unfortunately, but I would have loved to have seen him got Frenzy 2. Either way, though, it is more damage output nonetheless, and that is definitely going to help him in the Holo Senkomon quest. But in a way, maybe the most important thing for other players out there is that he is now actually one of the best soul traits in the power attribute. Recharge at 12%, and also now 22% more strong attack damage when at full stamina. And last but maybe least, let's see how this does pan out. We have Loopy. He's a character I don't have much faith in. Don't really know what this character needs to get, but let's go 3 for 3. Maybe he'll get a good secondary soul trait. Shinji got one. Shinji got a real good one. And then also Grimmjow got one. In this case, though, maybe he's going to get more strong attack damage at full stamina, but they very well could just do damage to weakened enemies. When it comes to the skills, we have Berserker 20, Bruiser 20, Debilitator, Devastation, Immunity, Frenzy +1, Havoc, and also Sprinter +1. He already has the fire duration, so he doesn't need that. I think fire duration is seen in the melee no affiliation GQ. I might be wrong on that. So maybe he'll get an additional duration status element at 100%. He's definitely going to pick up Guard Break, and then likely, similar to Shinji, just get 50% more strong attack damage. Or 50% more damage, maybe damage to weakened enemies. So let's have a look. So scrolling down, we have damage inflicted at full stamina plus 18%. Not too bad then. Not too bad. Now again, this is an hard soul trait. At 18%, normally it is at 16%, so it is 2% higher, and I believe, let me double check. So as of right now, at least when it comes to the attribute trees, we haven't gotten any upgrades that would upgrade damage at full stamina by 2%. So again, going back to Hallibell, right? She's an 18% soul trait, but goes up to 20% through the attribute tree system. Likely in the upcoming page, maybe in the future too, it's very likely to happen that sometime in the future, we will be able to get 20% more full stamina through this tree if you are a character now like Loopy. Because again, Loopy right now has 18% instead of 16%. When it comes to the skills though, Havoc and Sprinter got moved up. That's going to make space for his regular skills. He did though pick up Guard Break, weakened defense, strong attack damage went up by 30%, I'm pretty sure. He did get an increased status and chance to heart attribute no affiliation enemies. And he also did get damage to weakened enemies. So again, if you've not yet realized the pattern for the most part, characters like this just get a 50% damage upgrade. It just depends on how consistent that 50% is going to be. His strong attack damage skill went up by 30%, and then he also did get damage to weakened enemies, so 60% damage upgrade, technically a tad bit higher. The bare minimum is basically 50, and then he also did get additional 18% there. So a bit more damage overall. I didn't really care that much about this character, but it's more orbs nonetheless if you do own him. And at the very least though, the most important thing is that he is actually a better soul trait than most characters out there, surprisingly. And since he is a newer character with 882 spiritual pressure, he is overall offering more stats. Like I said though, more damage upgrades is never a bad thing because you can take this character into the Senkaman quest, which is designed for Arrankas and Espadas. I mean, again, there are quite a few Arranka Espadas out there, so it shouldn't be that needed. But if you do want to free up a spot, a character like Loopy would be relatively good in those earlier stages. So that is Khanfir on World Round 5 getting their resurrections this month. Like we did already say, the pattern does seem to be if you are a 1000-year Blood War banner or Khanfir on World banner resurrected in the middle of the month, like we are getting right now with Khanfir on World Round 5, we will get a secondary batch at the end of the month that isn't Khanfir on World. For those that are curious though, that means next month, if they do continue this trend, Kenpachi, Shunsui, and what's his name? Ryunosuke? Seinosuke. I knew it was something like that. They are getting their upgrades next month. Not guaranteed, potentially. And then the month after that, we're getting Khanfir Round 8, which is actually pretty exciting. Hopefully, we can eventually get to Kugo, because he is one of the oldest characters in my account that I am missing. In terms of what could be happening at the end of the month, though, in terms of a resurrection batch, we've recently just got Machine Society, right? So in this case, it seems like it's going to be Uryu, Renji, and also Zayapro if it is a premium banner. If it's a seasonal banner, they could skip all the way to the Spirit Society banner with White, Lisa, and also Shinji. Again, that's a banner that's going to be quite noteworthy here because all three of them are holo characters. This is quite literally 3 characters that you can use for an entire stage. So I would say that's a banner to keep your eye out on. But again, likely it is going to be the Fierce Battle banner with Renji, Uryu, and also Zayapro. And at this point, again, if we keep up the trend with Khanfir on World banners, eventually it's going to get to the point that Nini and Noelle will be the oldest characters that need to get resurrected. They're an odd one though. They are Burn the Witch characters. We've not gotten a resurrection for those characters just yet. And just because we're coming up to their resurrection timing, I guess, it doesn't mean they are going to get resurrected. They could get delayed until we get a new banner, and who knows when that's next going to be. But I would like to say and hope, to be fair, that the next time we do get a Burn the Witch banner or collaboration, those 2 characters do get resurrected. It's in a way also the same for movie characters. Like, eventually when we get to their point, there's no guarantee they get resurrected straight away. They could get resurrected early, they could get resurrected later. But again, we are quickly, in a way, maybe slowly, depending how you look at it, approaching 6th anniversary Aizen, and also Epic Ichigo, but also the Spirits Arthur with collaboration. So that's going to be kind of exciting seeing Beyond Bankai characters get their upgrades. So overall, I'm actually relatively happy with this resurrection batch. Would have loved to have seen Shinji just got overall more damage output because I think he's still a pretty cool unit. But all three of them are offering really good soul traits. Grimjaw is the perfect combination, and then Shinji and Luffy are actually offering more stats compared to any other character, or more percentage in the damage buff they are giving. Even if their damage buffs weren't the greatest, I think the new Sengoku update gives a place for characters like this to be used, and personally, I definitely will be using them in Sengoku when we do get the Arrancar and also Hollow Towers. In the comments below though, let me know what character you're most excited for, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.